ladies and gentlemen, and thank you so much for listening to another episode of the Secret to Success podcast. We strive to bring you the top leaders in their industries so you can learn their secrets to success, so you can grow and build your businesses, be prosperous, and live the dreams that you are so looking to live. If you have any questions, please feel free to email us at info@theatsjr.com for more information about the ATSJR companies and to find out more about how to live your dreams and reach that middle class exit and live the life that you were supposed to live. Freedom is abundance, and abundance is freedom. Let's all go live it. Thank you again for joining us for another episode of the Secret to Success podcast.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Branding and Cash Flow. Glad to see you all today, this evening. As always, if you are in the position to, please turn on your camera so that we can see your shining, smiling faces. And always, if at any point in time you have a question or some thoughts, if your camera is on, you can wave your hand. If your camera's not on, not to worry. You can click on participants. From there, you will see a small blue hand that says raise hand. You click on that, we will acknowledge you that way. And you're always free to type in your questions and comments in the chat. Mr. Vaccine, I see your hand is up.
Just saying hi, hello.
Hello, sir. All right, great stuff, great stuff. Okay, we are going to get started right now. We're going to talk about this evening excitement sales. Excitement sales. Brian Tracy says that a key element in selling is enthusiasm. And then he also defines a sale as a transfer of your enthusiasm about the product or service into the mind of the other person. I'll repeat his definition. Brian Tracy defines a sale as a transfer of your enthusiasm about the product or service into the mind of the other person. And what I wanted to do was, before I kept going about that, I always love when Mr. Field gives his definition of a sale. So, Mr. Field, if you could give us your definition of a sale, please.
Sure. Communicating, which means to make common, in a way, which is your style, to produce a mutually agreed upon response that's best for all parties. So communicating in a way to produce a mutually agreed upon response that's best for all parties.
Thank you so much, Mr. Field. Communicating in a way, just that enthusiasm, okay? So I love it. Thank you so much, Mr. Field. Excitement sales. Excitement sales.
And enthusiasm comes from the Greek word entheos, which means God within.
Oh, something new every day. Thank you so much for that, Mr. Field. I did not know that. Okay, God from within. All right. Now, in order to be excited about your product or service that you are selling, you must first ask yourself these three questions. Question number one, what are you selling? What am I selling? Okay. What is your product or service? What is the purpose of your product or service? So you got to know what it is that you're selling, and you got to know the purpose of it. I can't be excited about something I don't know about. I can't be excited about something when I don't know what it's for. So you want to make sure that you know what it is that you're selling, whether it be a product or service. The next question, why are you selling that particular product or service? Why are you selling that particular product or service? Why did you create this product or service? And what made you decide that you wanted to sell this product or service? The product or service that you have now in your company. Why did you create it, and what made you decide to sell that one? Antonio was talking to Deanna and me one day, and it was about sales. And he was talking about his wallet, and he said, "Hey, I don't see this just as a wallet. I see this as a time saver." And we were looking, and we was like, "Huh." And when he kept elaborating, it made sense. He said, "Yeah, I have several financial institutions in my pocket. This keeps me from having to go to a bank or a financial institution to pull out money because I have bank cards in my wallet. I have credit cards, I have debit cards in my wallet." And then he also said, this wallet, and he was holding it up, "This also keeps me from having to go to a building to prove my identity. I have my ID in my wallet." And so as he kept elaborating, we were like, man, that makes sense. So he doesn't see his wallet as just a wallet. He sees it as a time saver. And the person who created the wallet may have said, "I am selling this, or I am creating this to save men time." So you want to ask yourself, why did you create your product or service? What is the purpose of it? Before I go any further, did anyone have any questions or comments based on what we're talking about thus far? What are you selling? Why are you selling it?
Yeah, Grace, you're talking about
Yes, sir.
features and benefits. Like, for instance, cruise control in a car.
Mm-hmm.
There is the buttons you push, how it's hooked up to the carburetor, how it works with the pedals. The benefits are your legs doesn't get tired on long trips. You'll save gas and hopefully get less speeding tickets. So
Yeah.
you get terms about what's the benefit of the cruise control. Or should the hardware store be selling drills, or should the hardware store be selling holes? Come to our hardware store and buy your hole. Now you get to the hole by using the drill. So you want to think of benefits versus features.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That is, thank you so much for that. I love those examples that you gave. Yes, features and benefits. Thank you so much. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. James, I saw that you had your mic unmuted.
To be honest, Phil said a lot there. I just need a process. I can't come after that.
Okay, not a problem. Not a problem. All right. Okay. Now, so you have your features, your benefits. You ask yourself, what are you selling? What's the purpose of your product or service? Why are you selling this particular product or service? The last question you want to ask yourself, who are you selling to? Who is your product or service for? Why is it for this group of people? And what can they benefit from having your product or service? Okay. What we're dealing with today, COVID-19. This is flying off the shelves now. So whoever created this has asked themselves, who am I selling this to? Oh, people that want to be safe from coronavirus, people who want to stay clean and sanitized, and people who want to be safe. Why is it for this group of people? I've just answered that question again. Hey, they want to be free from coronavirus. They want to be safe. They want to be clean. And what can they benefit from having this product or service? It's the same answers I just gave for the first two questions. But this is the reason that this is flying off the shelves. Hand sanitizer. Other things that are flying off the shelf: toilet tissue, paper towels, cleaners, any type of cleaners, Lysol, any type of disinfectant. Well, I can't think of the wipes, Clorox wipes, things of that nature. Soap should always fly off the shelves, but now more than ever, soap is flying off the shelves. Masks, we keep hearing on the news that they can't keep them. They have to keep creating them because they keep moving, because people are needing them. Just anything that you can think of that has to do with sanitation, being clean, hygiene, being free from germs, all of those types of things. That is being sold like crazy nowadays. So you want to ask yourself these questions. What are you selling? Why are you selling it? And who are you selling to? If you don't know the answer to these questions, you cannot be excited about your product or service. Go ahead, Mr. Field.
Yeah, and then who are you selling it to? In every transaction, there's three types of buyers. There's the financial buyer. They can say yes when everybody else says no, and they can say no when everybody else says yes.
Mm-hmm.
There's the technical buyer. Their job is to weed out the weak players. Sometimes these are called accountants and attorneys. And then there's the user buyer. That's the person that's going to take the product or service and be responsible for getting the value out of it. Now, those three buyers can all be the same person, but in every transaction, there's three types of buyers. There's the financial buyer, the technical buyer, and the user buyer.
I love that. Financial, technical, and user buyer. Thank you, Mr. Field, for being on this call this evening. So, one more time, Mr. Field, could you please explain the financial, technical, and user buyer again?
Sure. The financial buyer, they're the ones that can write the checks, right? Like I say, they can say
Right.
yes when everybody else says no, and they can say no when everybody else says yes.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're dealing with talking to somebody about your product or service, do they have the authority to buy? Because if they don't, you've got to approach them. Well, what are you? Are you trying to find out what product or service would be best for your company, which that means they'd be the technical buyer? Or are you the person that if your company gets this product or service, you're the one that's going to be responsible for making sure that they get the value out of it? That would be the user buyer.
All right. Thank you again for that. So you have those three types of buyers, and you want to make sure you understand those three types, that you can answer those questions that you have. Is there anyone who has any questions or thoughts along with what Mr. Field has said? Okay. With your products or services that you sell, does anyone want to be transparent and answer these three questions about their product or service? Who are you selling? What are you selling? Why are you selling this particular product or service? And who are you selling to? Anyone with your product or service, you want to answer these three questions. All right, Ms. Michelle G.
Okay, so the first one, I'll turn my camera on to work.
Okay.
So the
What
first
are you
one,
selling?
what are you selling? I am selling, I'll go with the wedding beauty packages.
Okay.
Why am I selling this product? I'm selling this product or this service and product because ladies and their wedding parties are in need of this service.
Here's another secret to success. Rise.com. Rise is an all-in-one system that makes online training easy to create, enjoyable to take, and simple to manage. With Rise, anyone can easily create guides, courses, and other training content. You can start from scratch or customize hundreds of rebuilt lessons, helpful course templates, and gorgeous sample courses to build content even faster. Your learners will love Rise because Rise courses are beautiful, interactive, and engaging. Your managers will love Rise because Rise makes it fast and easy to create, distribute, and analyze online training. And your IT department will love Rise because it has everything your team needs to manage online training in one secure enterprise class system. So why you'll love Rise? By starting a free 30-day trial at rise.com/success. Again, that's rise.com/success to start your 30-day free trial. RISE.com/success.
When for someone to do their hair, makeup, even nails. So that is my why I am selling. And who I'm selling to, that I already answered that too. That to ladies who are getting married and their wedding parties.
All right, great job, great job. Thank you for that, Miss Michelle G. Thank you for that. All right, it's a wedding party. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So if you know anyone who, well, not right now. Nobody's planning a wedding right now, but in the future, if you do know people who are deciding to get married when all of this is over, hey, send them Michelle G's way. She has some things for the bride and the wedding party.
I am a cosmetologist, so.
All right. She says she's a cosmetologist, so you want to get your my pastor, he has an old soul. He says if you want to get your hair pulled, go see Michelle G. All right, thank you for that. Is there anyone else who would like to talk about their products or service and answer these 3 questions? Who, why, what, why, and who? All right, not a problem, not a problem. Did anyone else have any questions, comments, or thoughts? Oh, go ahead, Mr. Maurice.
I'm going, yep. I would
All
say
right,
that the who would be all real estate agents right now. The why, the what is real estate training, basic training there, and the why is because, well, the timing that we're in, everybody's shut down, everybody's down, and it's an opportune time for any individuals to take the time and benefit from those trainings, and also there's a need for training in specific areas. So once you become, a licensed professional, then the question is, now what? So there's a need for that. There's a number of offices that doesn't provide the real, training that's on the ground that people can really use, that can be utilized. So that would be the why, and so that would be that. Yep, that would be the training and all real estate agents and training for all aspects, from writing a listing agreement to contracts to the steps, the ABCs of the business aspect of it. Every single the steps, all listing contracts, agreements, and things like that. Yeah.
All right. Cool. Well, thank you so much, Mr. Maurice. If you are a real estate agent and you are looking to get some training, because right now is a good time to do it while everyone is at home, stay at home. I don't want to call it a warning, but stay at home policy is what I'm going to call it right now because I can't think of the word. But right now is a good time to do that. Get some training if you are in the real estate industry and get that training. Mr. Maurice is able to help you with that. All right. Now, is there anyone?
I'm also a cosmetologist.
Really?
Yeah.
I was going to say, wait a minute. Okay. I was about to send people your way too now. Okay. All right. Thank you, Maurice, for that. All right. Is there anyone who wants to get a product or service but doesn't have one just yet, but you know what you want to do? All right. Okay. All right, Mr. Justin?
Yeah. Touching it on Maurice's thing, I actually want to go back and get my real estate license because this year, we're focusing on wholesaling, foreclosures, and short sales. But I find with wholesaling, finding people to do list pendants and then dealing with cash buyers to give people another option to actually sell a house, I like to actually be able to service it myself if I have to. Right now, I'm working on a personal deal, and it seems like getting everybody on the same page is a little bit of a headache. And I know sometimes with me, if the deal is there, I'm gonna take the shot. And sometimes having your stuff together, even though real estate agent is really not my thing, it's really not my.
To all of my coffee drinkers out there, what if your morning coffee supported girls going to school? With Gorangosa Coffee's Girls Run the World blend, you can do just that. Each bag equals a day of education for a young woman in Mozambique. The aroma, when you first start brewing it, when it hits you, it just wakes you up and gets you ready for the day, and the flavor itself is even smoother. So you can use our code ATS for 20% off your first order at gorangosacoffee.com. That's GORONGOSA coffee.com for premium coffee with real impact.
Let me just say to you, ladies and gentlemen, Deanna just made me the most fantastic cup of coffee, and we're both drinking it, and the flavor is robust. It's just really good, and it smells great, so I'm really excited to be sharing this with you. Now back to me sipping some more coffee.
Specialty. So I've a couple of years back, I've learned, hire people that are good at what they do, and you be good at what you do, and that's what makes a team a team. But I think I want to get my real estate license this year, just to have it under my belt. And the other thing that I'm going to need assistance of or support on is getting my book worldwide, getting 1 million copies sold worldwide, and having a platform to do so.
All right, sir. Well, first on the real estate aspect that you spoke on, Maurice, did you have anything to say about that?
I did. I was gonna mention, you mentioned list pendants. But I I didn't get into real estate. I only got in real estate for the same exact reason that you just mentioned. It wasn't to be an agent or any of that. It was because I was managing my own properties and looking after my own properties, and I just wanted to make sure that I wasn't doing any. I was nervous. I didn't want to get in. I didn't want to get in any trouble, and I wanted to make sure that I was doing things the right way, and I could benefit from that knowledge. So, not necessarily to be your agent, and it's very vast. And once you get into it, you'll see how vast it is. So it's a whole lot more to it, than it's like defining a word. Sometimes you look at a word and you think you know what that word means. Um, I looked up, I think it's the or as. It is two letters, and it has 23 different meanings to it. And you'll be surprised that some of the words that you look up, and it has multiple meanings to it. And that's like real estate. So it just has a whole lot more to it than just maybe what the picture of what what's put out there, what you might know, what you might think it had, what you might see. So definitely, you know it's a plus to get licensed, because there's a lot more. You'll see there's a whole lot more to it when you get licensed, and you go through that process. Go through that class. I don't know whether your state is 75 or 60 hours. What state are you in?
I'm in New York right now.
Okay, New York is 75 hours. Um, um, so when you go through that 75-hour course, there's a lot of different niche markets in each of those courses that just you don't even, so it's not necessarily just a one thing, one, it's not a one size fits all when it comes to real estate. I wanted to say that part. And then you mentioned list pendants, um, and hiring to what you need. But I would think that if you there's and then you mentioned wholesaling. That was really one of the reasons that I really thought about doing a class, because one of the biggest things that, and all this is, real estate is in cycles. I didn't know what wholesaling was until like maybe about a year ago, and it's what we used to call it back when I originally got in real estate was um seller financing, or creative financing. I mean, it was called creative financing. So and it's just another cycle of it. We're going into it in a whole another cycle of, but it's not, the name changed. The name just changed, but it's the same game, but the name just changes. So, but with wholesaling, one of the key components is getting your BPOs and getting your price point right, making sure that you're purchasing a property for the right price, low enough that on the back end that you're going to make the money that you want to make. So that is one of the first classes I'm putting together, is the BPO class. It's a certificate so that you can know how to do a BPO. And this is because a lot of that's one of the benefits, that's one of the reasons why a person would have to have a real estate agent, or have a real estate license because they have access to get that BPO information. And list pin, as you know, is public records. So, but that's it. But you know, if you want to talk offline of another time, we definitely can get more into it.
Yeah, I've been meaning to get your email since the last real estate statement that you had, but it was on a real heavy convo that we were going on with a bunch of people, and I missed it. And by the time I realized that I didn't write it down correctly, the call was off.
Got you. Okay. It's Maurice at mauricemuhammad.com and MauriceMuhrice at MauriceMuhammad.com. Spelled like Muhammad Ali spells his last name. His Muhammad.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
All
Thank
right.
you, Grace.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff. All right. Well, we got one thing down, and then I heard you say, Justin, that you want your book to be sold worldwide. Oh, I have a great person that I think can speak with you about that. Her name is Deanna Mitchell. But what I'm going to do is, so that you all can talk offline. First off, is there anybody else on the line who wants to have their book sold worldwide? Because if so, I'm going to ask Ms. Deanna if she'll just say a few words, but then we can also get that going offline. All right, Ms. Michelle G., I see you. I see your hand. I see your hand. Ms. DeMarie, are you available to answer your phone or unmute your phone, unmute your line? Maybe not. Okay. All right. Well, definitely, I know that this young lady is capable and well able to help you with that goal, Justin and Michelle G. And I will get with her so that she can get with the both of you to speak with you on how to go.
Please.
Oh, okay, Maurice as well. All right, great. I will definitely get with her so that we can get with the three of you and get that going. But definitely, is there anyone else who wanted to talk about their product or service and answer the three questions? What are you selling? Why are you selling what you sell? And who are you selling to? We've had a great call this evening. Thank you to everyone who has participated and given their thoughts and comments and their questions. All right. Well, if nothing else, again, thank you all for joining us on this evening's branding and cash flow call. And in just a few moments, in about 35 minutes, for those of us who are part of the Bureau of Dominant Speakers, we will be having our Having Fun While Getting Paid to Speak with our master trainers, Mr. and Mrs. Steele and Susan Sorrentino. As soon as we get off this call, this line, we'll be jumping on to the other line for our Bureau call. Go ahead, Mr. Phil.
Grace?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, let's give your current people on the line a little heads up so they can be thinking about it. So when we call for the responses, they've already had a little time to think about it.
Okay.
So the first thing we're going to want you to tell us is what makes you different. Because if you're like everybody else, the only reason I should buy you is you're the lowest price. So what makes you different? And we're going to go around, and it's going to be very interactive, or else it'll be a very short call. So what makes you different? And we're going to help people figure out what makes them different. And that kind of leads out of what we did last week with who are you? We did last week, who are you? And now what makes you different? And if we can solidify what that is, then you can go to the third one. And the third one is, what's your niche? Remember, we're not speakers that are experts, we're experts that speak. And the better you can define your niche, the better you can position yourself in that niche. It's easier to market to, and you get a premium price because you're a specialist. It's the difference between the doctor who's a general practitioner, a regular family doctor, and the surgeon that specializes in this one operation. Well, the surgeon that specializes in this one operation gets a lot more money than the general practitioner. Because if you have that problem, he's one of the few people on the planet that can serve that to you. So the time we're going to spend together in a little bit is what makes you different, and help everybody define what their difference is, and have everybody here on the call help too, because we're going to have a brainstorming session. And then the other thing is, what is your niche? And we've got a lot of different ways in which we can define your niche. And you can have more than one niche, by the way, so that doesn't limit you. All right, I hope that helps.
Thank you so much, sir. Yes, it does. All right, so everyone who will be hopping on the other call for the Bureau, get ready. It's participation time. Okay, I love those. Being a teacher, I love participation. I don't like being the only one talking. So thank you again, Mr. Field, for that. What makes you different, and what is your niche? So be thinking about that until the 8 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time, 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time hour, and we'll be getting those answers. And I know Mr. and Mrs. Field and Susan will be helping us with those 2 questions. Thank you all so much for joining us this evening for Branding and Cash Flow. Love you more, Phil, and we will see you all next time. Everyone, take care.
I'm not sure if you already know this, but you're already absolutely perfect. You're already absolutely great, and you're already living in massive abundance. The most important things that you have is not what you have, it's not what you do, it's what you know. Because the people who do know what you need to know to lead the middle class, they're in the top 1%, and they control 96% of the world's income. 97% of this world is trading time for money, and that is not the way to become rich, it's not the way to become wealthy, and it is absolutely not the way to leave the middle class. There are 7.8 billion people in the world right now, and they all want to learn how to make money and how to leave the middle class. But the way to become a master at anything is to learn all the rules and then bend them to your favor. Right now in this world, there are 2,057 billionaires. Right now. So if you think becoming a billionaire is impossible, that's 2,057 people that have already proved that impossibility incorrect. And if you think that's crazy, there are 46.8 million millionaires in the world, worldwide right now. Now think about that. 46.8 million millionaires, and that number grows 1,730 millionaires every single day. Money is everywhere. You don't need to max out your credit cards. You don't need to borrow from granddad and grandma. Just look behind me. Look at all the wealth sitting behind me in this junkyard. It's insane how much money is everywhere, and you don't need to go out there and beg, borrow, and steal to get it. You just need to know the rules of making money and how to leave the middle class. Essentially, all you need to know is the algorithm of making money, the rules of making money. All you need to know is what to do and how to do it, and you can leave the middle class. Any industry, yoga, golf, underwater basket weaving, clipping fingernails, it doesn't matter. All you have to do is know how to do it, how to get it done, and then find somebody to teach you how to do it, how to get it done, and you will be able to leave the middle class. If you're not getting my point, it's real simple. Whatever you have up here, as long as you understand the rules of leaving the middle class, as long as you understand how to get money, you can take what's up here and get wealthy from what you already have. Right now, the very thing you know up here is already being searched 1,000 times a second on Google. Someone right now, actually 1,730 people right now are going to become a millionaire from the stuff that you have in your head. Why can't this be you? I mean, it's 1,730 people with your ideas that are no better than you, that are going to leave the middle class, become a millionaire. Why are you not next? So how do we do this? How do we take what you know and apply it to objective money-making secrets and then allow you to leave the middle class? How do we take you from where you are and let you escape to where you want to go? So how do we make all this money, or take all this knowledge from the Warren Buffetts, from the Elon Musk? How do we take everything that everyone before you has done, and how do we take all of that and then put it in your head so you can leave a legacy for your family? My name is Antonio T. Smith Jr. 32 years ago, I lived in a trash can. That's right, from 6 to 14, I had no running water, no electricity, know anything, and somehow I'm in the top 1% today. Not because I had the right background, not because I had a silver spoon in my mouth, simply because being homeless made me learn how to make money. I retired when I was 29 years old. I'm more than likely younger than you. I'm one of the top 1% income earners in one of the richest countries in the world. What I learned how to do when I was 6 years old was learn how to generate enough money to eat some cookies so I wouldn't die to death from starvation. From there, I learned how to go from cookies to a meal. From a meal to clothes to shelter to everything else that supplied my necessary needs. When I was 6, I was forced to learn how to make money, and now that's what I'm going to do and help you do. I've seen amazing results. I have my own economy, I've homeschooled my own children, and I wrote a book that teaches you every single thing that I know about making money, every single thing that other people know about making money, and most importantly, all the stuff that we don't tell you. Because the truth is, and you know it like I know it, the most honest, the most hardworking, unselfish people on planet Earth live in the middle class. Yet, your honesty, your unselfishness, your devout religion-going self is not enough to get to the top 1%, and that's not fair. The second half of my life has been not about how much money I make, but how I will be remembered from all the money that I have made. And I've been trying to teach everybody how to get out the middle class. I'm the crazy guy famous on the internet for trying to create 100,000 millionaires. I've created 8 so far. I got a 9th one on the way, all the way from India. That's pretty cool. And what I want to tell you is something very simple. It's been hard. It's been absolutely hard to help people leave the middle class, not because of the people, because the system would rather keep you being someone else's money instead of you having your own economy and having the money come find and flow to you. It was frustrating because I knew that anybody can make money. And if you knew what I knew, you would change your life. Over the last few years, I've built a large following of over 500,000 people every month that pay me for me to give them advice. Well, that's been exciting for me. And the cool thing is I've created thousands of six-figure earners. I've created millionaires. I've created people who can live their dreams and hold on to their legacies. And now my eyes are on you to create you to what you need to be great. I have been teaching my principles and these principles to hundreds of thousands of people around the world, every country, all continents, and anyone who has taken them seriously, written them down, and applied them have a 100% success rate of leaving the middle class. I've taught these secrets to my following, my inner network, and I've watched them go from 4 figures to 5 figures, 5 figures to 6 figures, 7 figures, all the way to 8. Everything that I've ever learned from millionaire mentors, billionaire mentors, and everything I learned from being homeless, and everything that got me into the top 1%, I have placed inside of a book. To date, it is the longest book that I've ever written, the most best book that I've ever written, and that book is called The Richest Man in the Trash Can, and I'm offering it to you today for free. This book is going to show you how to become wealthy into the top 1% and leave the middle class. This book is going to give you a step-by-step plan if you're 30 years old, all the way to 70 years old, how to get into the top 1%. If you're a teenager, how to get to the top 1%. If you're a millennial, how to get to the top 1%. It's going to teach you how to make 6 figures immediately, teach you how to get to $1 million immediately, and all that good stuff. Plus, I'm going to give you the 36 objective laws of leaving the middle class. Plus, I'm going to give you every last one of my secrets that have made me rich. You have to understand that leaving the middle class is the most important fight that you're going to have in your life. And to be honest with you, and you can kind of relate to this, it almost takes $450,000 a year just to be broke in America. And that's just in America. If you don't leave the middle class, which is actually an illusion, then you are going to have a really hard time. Think about it for a second. Most of you going to be watching this are going to be baby boomers, and you've been sold a bad check. They lied to you. Your retirement was not enough for you to live comfortable, and I'm gonna give you this book for free so you can figure out how to triple your retirement and then quadruple your retirement, and then as Grant Cardone would say, 10x your retirement so you can live the life that's worthy of you. I want you to remember that leaving the middle class is the most important battle that you could ever face in your entire life, especially for your family. So consider this video, this book, your friendly tap on the shoulder. I want to send you a free copy of this book because I believe that abundance is your birthright. I believe that abundance is freedom, and I believe that this book is right for you. In fact, I believe in that so much that I will send you the book for free. All you have to do is cover the cost of shipping. I'll eat the cost, I'll take the loss, and all you have to do is get the book and dominate your reality right now and apply the principles so you can be the best person for your life that is yours. Fill out the form sitting right there to the right. Go ahead, dominate your reality. I can't wait to send you my book. I can't wait to meet you. I can't wait to have you as someone that's been on the journey with me. Antonio T. Smith Jr., you can plan better. You can dominate.